Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick. Today, we'll be listening to some of your calls again. It's another Ask the Pulpit episode. You guys were rather chatty. You called the hotline and left a message, and I love that. I love it deeply. And so I don't like letting them build up to the point that it's like, oh shit, this is going to take 3 hours to get through. So, we'll just address some of the calls and do one of those shows, which works because I was wondering what the hell I was going to talk about today anyway. So let's smoke a cigar. I am going to be smoking. I found this. I've been working in the humidor a lot this weekend. I'll get to that in a little bit. I've been doing all sorts of humidor projects, and I'll get to that in a bit. But I found this in the humidor, and it's a Punch Golden Era Toro 6x52. The Punch Golden Era is a medium-bodied premium cigar created in collaboration with Julio Aroa. Julio blended it. Designed to showcase authentic Honduran-grown Corojo tobacco. Released in 2023, the Honduran Puro uses non-hybrid Cuban seed Corojo for its wrapper, binder, and filler, producing a rich, spicy flavor with notes of cedar, earth, and cream. I don't know if I've ever gotten cream on this cigar, but, that sounds like a personal problem. I don't know. That got weird. Anyway, all right, it's time to cut and light the cigar. And the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So head on over to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. Oh, my. What a weekend. A little bit of salt to the wrapper on this guy. Little salty component to the wrapper. Anyway, what a weekend. How was your weekend? I was busy as shit this weekend, I swear. This is one of those weekends where it was like dominoes were falling. Like one thing led to another, which led to another, which led to another. And speaking of things leading to another, it's time for me to light the cigar, which means it's time for you to listen to the greatest commercial you've ever heard. And then I'll get back to what I was just talking about.
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so. They can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars uses authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard. Yeah.
All right. So, back to what I was talking about. So, I got a new couch. I did. I got a new couch, and I put it in the sunroom. And, when you get a piece of furniture, then suddenly it's like, okay, how's this going to impact the room? So, there was a love seat back there that the prior owner of the house had left. And it's still in good shape. It's nice, but it was a love seat. I wanted something I could nap on. So I got a couch. Well, the love seat then moved to the living room. But I had to completely redo the living room in order to fit the love seat in there. I have 5 bookshelves in my living room. I had, at the time, 2 on one wall, 3 on another. But in order to fit the love seat, I had to move one of those bookshelves to the wall with the 2. But that required taking everything off, the 2 that were on that wall, and the 3rd one I'm moving, so that I can shift them all down and fill the wall. So that was a pain in the ass. But I got that done. And then we got the couch, or the love seat, put where it's going to go. And then, now there's a couch with the chair. But you need throw pillows. You need pillows. So now you're going out and you're searching for pillows. And then from there, it's like, oh, well, I need a table. I don't have a table next to this thing because I used to have this like Winador humidor out in the sunroom, but I've moved that. I'll get to that in a minute. And so then it's like, well, I need a table now. So then I went searching for an end table and one thing after another. So then I moved the Winador into my office. Well, I had a file cabinet in my office. Now, maybe in a prior life I would have needed that file cabinet for everything I had, but I didn't need it this time because I have a couple of file drawers on my desk and they're good enough. I'm not, it's a digital age. What are you filing in paper now? So the file cabinet is really just storage. So I got rid of the file cabinet and put the humidor where the file cabinet was. Worked perfectly. But then that was the humidor that I used to store boxes in. But I use the cabinet humidor for boxes now. So now I needed to get some trays for singles because that was my big problem. Because I have 2 pretty stuffed full Tupper doors or Rubbermaid doors or whatever the hell you want to call them. And so I wanted to empty those out. I want to be done with the Tupper doors. So this all leads to a trip to IKEA, where I find a couple of shelves that I needed for my office for all of my recording stuff that I still need to assemble. I don't remember what they're called. Everything had weird names. And then I bought these boxes, these trays. They're boxes. They're not trays. 2 of them are trays, but 2 of them are boxes because they're about 6 inches tall. And I'm going to fit a lot of cigars in those boxes in that humidor. And so, that's going on. Right now, the Cigar Oasis is working to get the inside of that humidor, where it needs to be. And once that's kind of there, I'm giving it a little bit. It's been a minute since that humidor has been active. So I'm giving it a minute. And then I'll start loading in the cigars and we'll go from there. But in the process of all that, I've been looking through a lot of my cigars. And so that's when I came across the Punch Golden Era. And so here we are. So anyway, I'm just tired. I'm very, very tired. It was a long weekend of doing that. I also had my son this weekend, which, going to IKEA with a 9-year-old, that's not the best idea. Oh, we need to mute my phone. Probably not the best idea. But anyway, why don't we go ahead and just jump right into it?
Shall we play a game?
You talking to me? I have a question for you.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Ask me about my winner.
You got a question? You ask the 8-ball.
Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on indeed. It is time for Ask the Pulpit. You guys can get your calls in by calling the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. That's area code 863-874-0000. You can call and you can leave a message and ask me anything you want. Ask me, comment, whatever it is, but 863-874-0000 or tofu pie 0000. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into them. Let's go to the first call here and see what we've got to talk about today.
Nick, it's Dennis calling.
Dennis.
Once again, the polar vortex has returned to Western Canada. However, I'm in the traveling cigar fortress of love.
Love it.
Also known as the Dodge 2012 pickup truck.
Love it.
With 250,000 kilometers on it. It's all good, brother. I'm staying smoky and I'm staying warm. I hope you're doing the same there in Southern Illinois. We'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.
I'm trying my best, dude. And by the way, I appreciate the call, and I appreciate the fact that you're coming up with a creative nickname for your truck and also ending it with "of love," because that was my takeoff of Mystery Science Theater 3000. They had the Satellite of Love. So when I had the ice tent, it was the ice tent of love. This is the garage of love, the garage studio of love, whatever it is. It's always of love, because by God, we need to be spreading more love in this world. It's rather ironic given the current state of the world, but we need to be spreading more love in this world. Maybe we do need to be spreading more love in this world given the current state of our world. But anyway, I'll tell you what, man, polar vortex might be coming to an end for me here soon. It's. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's, as I sit here and record, it is cold. It is wet, and it's been rainy all day, and that's making it more cold. But it's gonna be kind of warmer later this week. I think by Friday they're saying it might be like close to 80 here in St. Louis, which, holy shit. But we're supposed to get rain like all week long. So it's going to be gloomy. I don't want that. I would like 80 and sunny, but I'm in the wrong state for that right now. So anyway, moving on. We have another call here. Thank you for the call, Dennis. I appreciate it as always.
Hey, Nick, this is Sean.
What up, Sean?
Just wanted to call in regarding Noah's would you rather or would you questions.
Okay.
Well, the first one was the coin flip. Yes, I would definitely take the money, because $1 million is real money, and would it really make a big difference with, $1 billion? I don't know. And then the regret, like you mentioned. So definitely would take the $1 million rather than the coin flip. And then on the other question regarding taking a shower or a bath, does a hose bath, just washing up, count? I don't know. I guess I could go a while. I don't have to worry about my hair. And then, yeah. So I don't know. I guess that's a key factor. If a hose bath would count, that'd be, face, pits, and crotch. So anyways, have a good day. Thanks.
Sean, you bring up some valid points, and maybe your horse bath doesn't consist of water as much as it consists of baby wipes. Maybe that's a loophole there, you've got some baby wipes going on. I don't know. We need a little bit more clarification. For those of you who need a little catching up here, so listener Noah has been calling into the hotline with various would you rather or kind of I don't want to say moral, but life choices. The first one that Sean referred to was, would you take $1 million, just no strings, take $1 million, or would you gamble that $1 million on a coin flip, and if the coin came up, I guess, however you called it, you win $1 billion, but if you lose, you get nothing. I flat out said, and I agreed with Sean, that take the $1 million and run. Don't gamble on the coin flip. There's no sense. Now, in terms of the other one, I think it was one of those, if you got $5,000 a day for every day you didn't shower, how long could you last? And we're getting nitpicky on the showering thing. My thing was, I have to be allowed to wash my hands after I go to the bathroom, because that's a health thing. It's filthy. You got to be able to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom. I also kind of sort of really need to make sure I can brush my teeth. If I can brush my teeth and wash my hands, I can go for a little while. Not a long time. I mean, I think I tapped out at 5 or 6 days. Sean doesn't have hair, so, he's got the ability to go for a little while longer in that regard. He does make a valid point about BO, pits and crotch and butt, you got to be able to handle that. Whore's bath, as he referred to it. I don't know, baby wipes, if baby wipes are permissible and you can only use them on maybe those 3 spots, then boy, if I could horse bath, wash my hands after going to the bathroom, and brush my teeth, I could extend that out past the 5 or 6 days. I could go longer. How long? I don't know. But if I could do that, if I could clean those 3 vital stinky areas, wash my hands, and brush my teeth, and still make $5,000 a day, I could go quite a while. I don't know. I'm gonna need some guidance here, Noah. You need to call back and give some guidance because realistically, we all have questions. We have questions about what is permissible, and we need to be able to know because realistically, at this point, I think some of us are down. We just need to know like what we're looking at because yeah, it's it could be a lot, it could be a little. It all depends on what's permissible. Anyway, thanks for the call, Sean. We have another call here. Let's go to this now. Maybe. There we go.
Hey, Nick, it's James from California.
What up, James?
I'm probably going to out myself as to where I work, as I'm not calling in to ask a question. I'm calling in to give a correction.
Uh-oh.
UPS stores are franchises of UPS, the company, and they have separate rules and regulations about what they are and are not allowed to ship and receive, regardless of what UPS policy is. So the best way to get tobacco products from one end to the other is to actually go directly to a UPS person, not a UPS store. Or if you're lucky and you have an open UPS warehouse where you can actually get stuff shipped from your local warehouse. That's how you want to do it. You don't want to go to one of the franchisees because you are correct. UPS store employees are just a couple of IQ points away from gnawing on crayons, if you know what I mean. Anyway, stay smoky and safe. And update on my future closing cigar lounge.
Yeah.
Because it's a 501c7, I have convinced the board to allow me to join the board, and if I can find a location, I can have it. Hopefully my phone sounds better. I'm definitely in a much better area. Anyway, stay smoky and safe. Talk to you later.
James, fantastic call. Yes, your phone sounds immensely better, so thank you for that. That's exciting. You know, getting on the board, maybe being able to take it over and keep it going. That would be nice. I wish you all the luck with that. Definitely keep us posted. In terms of the UPS thing, that is interesting. And I didn't realize because, my God, they are branded up like they are corporate stores. So that is interesting. Now, in some cases, I know that because, like, there's a store one town away from me where they work with UPS. I could have a box shipped to that store to pick up, but it's not a UPS store. It's not called that. It's something completely different. The one I went to, like, is straight up like, oh, UPS. Like, it is branded up big time and whatever. So I kind of chalked it up to like maybe that's a corporate store versus a like you said franchisee, but I didn't realize that all of them were franchisees. I do have a distribution plant relatively near me that has been super cool. I've been able to go by and pick up my packages from the distribution plant. Actually, they got a little office there, and I've never attempted to ship anything from there before though, but they've been super cool because like I had for a while I was getting cigars from a company and they would send it, but they would actually check the box about being 21 and blah blah blah. Well, I kept missing the damn driver and he kept leaving me the love notes on the door. So finally I went to the distribution plant. They found it and they were like, dude, and the guy there was like, here's my cell phone number. If like you've got something coming, like, just shoot me a text, and I'll pull it aside when it, like, gets to us, and you can just come here and pick it up rather than having to worry about us doing it, which I thought was super cool. I hope I didn't just get him in trouble. I haven't done that in a long time because now nobody seems to give a shit about checking that box anymore, which I'm fine with. But anyway, no. So my experience with corporate has actually been pretty cool. Like I said, it's just the store people. And yes, one couple of brain cells away from gnawing on crayons. That's a pretty good description of that girl. And pretty much everybody I've ever dealt with at that UPS store. But it also applies to people I've experienced in various other shipping and logistics capabilities, be it UPS or USPS or FedEx or whatever. I think it's just, you start getting into that, it just, I don't know. Generally, not all of them. Obviously, we have listener Chris who, came on and discussed the post office with us a little while back. But, generally, my experience has not been positive with really any logistical type things. But anyway, I appreciate the call, buddy. Thank you so much. All right, we are moving on now. Got a couple of calls here from this number.
Good afternoon, Nick. Boots here from West Virginia. I'm listening to Friday's episode with you and Trey Mac dancing around Florida and checking out different biker lounges, I guess you could say, or at least during bike week they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Something got said here, and I don't think it's stressed enough. Trey Mac is completely right. Ketchup is garbage.
Oh!
Okay? Anybody over the age of, I don't know, let's say 8 years old that still eats ketchup on things has problems.
Shots fired.
Right? Everything can be made better by the absence of ketchup. Even on hamburgers, you put tomato slice on there, it's even better than just having ketchup. Ketchup is nothing more than sugary sauce meant to drown the flavor of whatever it is you're eating. The same thing goes for ranch dressing or steak sauce. All it does is kill the flavor of whatever you're eating, so all you're really eating is ketchup. You're tasting the ketchup. And again, it's nothing but a bunch of sugary shit.
It's valid.
Not good for you. There's no reason to eat it. And and while we're at it, ranch dressing. Let's add that to the list. Ranch dressing is garbage. Did I say that already? I don't know. If I didn't, it's one of those things. And every time I see a recipe on Facebook and I see, it's mixed with ranch dressing or even, I'll argue some hot sauces are good. But most of the time when people drench stuff in hot sauce or sriracha, again, it's just nothing more than to drown the flavor of what they're actually eating. The only sauce I'll give, and I do mean sauce, not condiments. It's ketchup is the sauce. I don't care. Mustard's good. Mustard's good to have.
No.
But barbecue sauce in moderation is excellent. Too much barbecue sauce, you're doing the same thing. But yeah, if you're over the age of 8, there's absolutely no reason to be eating ketchup. But either way, stay smoky, stay away from the ketchup. Have a great weekend.
Shots fired. I like ketchup. In some cases, some foods I flat out admit are nothing more than a ketchup delivery device. There are some places that their fries are fucking just straight garbage. And the only reason to eat them is as a ketchup delivery device. I don't mind ketchup. I understand it's a sugar thing. I put ketchup on hot dogs. I admit that, but again, in that case, going to what you're saying, maybe covering up the flavor of the food is the optimum thing to do there. I don't know. I did read a thing not too long ago. It talked about how for every every hot dog you eat, you lose 1 or 2 years of your life. So that's kind of discouraging because I probably could have lived another 20 years. I mean, well, no, I haven't had 20 hot dogs in my life. I've had a lot more than 20 hot dogs. I could have lived a lot longer if I wouldn't have eaten hot dogs. Anyway, and then obviously there's my whole ketchup on fried fish thing. Everybody makes fun of me for that, although Dave Garofalo doesn't because he does it too. But yeah, this is an interesting situation here. We have an actual legitimate ketchup debate going on here. I don't disagree with you on ranch dressing. The only time I ever use ranch dressing is actually on a salad, and even then, truthfully, I much prefer other dressings than ranch. For a while, I was all in on the ranch on my salads. You know who has good ranch dressing? This is going to be kind of one of those oh my God, Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse ranch dressing on their salad is actually pretty good. It's tasty. Most places, not a fan. I could take it or leave it. I used to dip chicken strips or whatever else in it. I don't do that not anymore. I'm over it. The ranch dressing thing, that fad has passed, and at this point, it's more of a turnoff than it is anything else. I am not a mustard guy. Never been a mustard guy. Never probably will be a mustard guy. I do not care for mustard. I am not a mustard guy. I can actually detect mustard in things. Like if I try a sauce and there's mustard in it, like as a base or something like that, it turns me off immediately. I'm not a mustard guy. Barbecue sauce, it depends on what it is. I will not put barbecue sauce. I don't put barbecue sauce on steak. I don't put barbecue sauce on a lot of things, but some things do need it. Ribs need barbecue sauce, in my opinion. I don't know if you've ever had a pork steak. I'm not a big pork steak guy. Mike Brinker just, threw his hands up in the air. I'm not a big pork steak guy, but there are some things that do need barbecue sauce. That's one of them. I like barbecue sauce on brisket. I will put some barbecue sauce on my brisket. I will try the brisket without the barbecue sauce, but I do feel like brisket is one of those things that I think benefits from barbecue sauce. Steak, I agree with you. Steak sauce, I don't have any need for it. If a steak is done well, seasoned properly, and cooked to perfection, the flavor of that meat does all the work. The juices and whatever else doesn't need anything. I am all good without steak sauce. Yeah, but ketchup, I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree. I like ketchup on some things, in moderation, of course, as with all things. It's been a lot of that. Yeah, okay. So Boots called back.
Hey, Nick, it's me again, Boots here from West Virginia. Don't mean to spam you. I literally just hung up with you.
That's not spam.
But Trey Mac said something else I'm going to have to disagree with. And as I listen to you only when I'm driving, I really can't write things down and make one coherent voicemail later. So that's why you're getting multiple.
That's fair.
I apologize for that in advance. However,
took up time. I don't care.
You guys want to say that only Prince is allowed to wear blouses and there ain't any real man that can wear it and get away with it. However,
true. 12
years in the military, I will tell you, our uniform tops are called blouses. And also you blouse your pants, but the military uniform top is called blouses. You can say what you want about the Navy. It is what it is. Navy SEALs are some of the most real men you'd ever meet. But even Marine tops are called blouses. So, Trey Mac isn't batting 1,000. He is right about ketchup, wrong about blouses. Either way, stay smoky. Have a good one.
Okay. I think we're getting into a semantics issue here, because if you were to look at the shirt portion of a military uniform and somebody said, what's the name of that? You would say shirt. You would say top. You would say whatever. Blouse would only be the word that you would use if maybe you were in the armed forces and you knew that that's the technical term for that shirt. Your average Joe does not see that and say blouse. When I see a light, airy, thin fabric top typically worn by a woman, that I would not say that's a shirt. I would say that's a blouse. And I think that's the difference here. I think that's the semantics that we're getting into here, is that yes, technically, you may be correct in that the top of the armed forces uniform is called a blouse. However, I would kind of say that maybe that's the exception, and perhaps maybe it's named that technically, but it's a shirt. It's a shirt. It's not a. I mean, I guess it is a. I feel like there's a big difference between the blouse I'm talking about and the blouse you're talking about. That's all I'm saying. So, we can again say that it's the same name, but I think we're going to have to. Who else but Prince can pull off the blouse that we are talking about? I don't know, Boots. Do you have an answer to that? Because we're not talking about the military blouse. We're talking about the blouse, the fluffy blouse. You know, the ruffled sleeves and the big necklines and the thin fabric and blowy in the wind kind of blouse. You know, like who else? What other man can pull that off? Because other than Prince, I don't know if there is one. I will agree with him on that. So, anyway. Thank you, Boots. I appreciate the call as always. All right, we got one more caller here. He also left a couple messages, so let's go ahead and check out what they had to say.
What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Up, Dakota?
I just listened to, I'm like three episodes, something like that behind. Just listened to the one where you talked about all the movies coming out, the Villiger special episode.
Oh, yeah.
And I was really excited for when I got to that because I'm a big movie theater buff.
Oh.
But, man, and I do agree with you that the comedies that come out, I mean, if they have specific people in them, they're good, but the quality of comedy, you're not going to reach Caddyshack.
No.
Not even, in my opinion, Super Troopers reaches quite the level of Caddyshack. But if they ever started doing that again, like bringing out movies to that quality, I'd lose my dang mind, man. That would be amazing.
People would be too offended.
But I wanted to talk about one of your spiels at the end of the episode. You talked about how nothing really tastes good anymore. And then you mentioned that you don't really cook, which there's a lot of people that don't cook. But that's, yeah, man, food is very important, in my opinion, to getting the most out of life. I mean, there's third world countries that the best thing in their country is the food that they cook. I mean, it's quite important to happiness. So I have a few suggestions that I don't expect you to take because they involve actually cooking. But if you do get a wild hair and you maybe cook once a week or twice a month, always get something funky. For example, one of my favorite things I've ever cooked in life, and I don't cook much now because my wife is definitely the ruler of the kitchen and much prefers her food, her cooking to mine.
Okay.
But, you know, I'm not complaining. She cooks very well. But last time, one of the few things that I have cooked that have remained in my mind forever is I went and got a swordfish steak from one of these, fish people, fish stores. I got a swordfish steak. And I went and looked up me a recipe for like a Caribbean style swordfish dish. And I ended up basically, I pan fried it because I didn't have a grill. But you can grill it, pan fry it, and then I made this mango like chutney. I mean, it's basically salsa, but it was wetter. So mango chutney. And I slathered the fish with that. And of course, the fish had a marinade that I soaked it in before I grilled it. So, dude, if you want a pop of flavor, cook with any type of tropical ingredient. Anything with tropical fruits in it that you have to cook. I'm not a big fan of, like, hot fruit, but...
And that's where the voicemail cut off. He did leave a second, but I want to interject for just a moment. I'm a big fan of tropical fruit. And in all fairness, I had every intention... every intention. I had a wild hair last summer to do more cooking. One bad experience with my grill kind of derailed that, and I didn't really come back to it. I need to. I fully realize that I need to. My whole thing with cooking, quite frankly, is I realize that I'm coming from a place of straight novice. Like, I am a novice. And food costs so damn much, be it either eating out or going to the store, that if I want to spend money on food, I want to make sure I'm not wasting it. And so I don't buy a lot of groceries because I don't want to experiment and waste the food and then end up having to throw a bunch away, and it's like, oh, it's just waste of money. The other thing is I'm really only cooking for one, and I'm not a leftover guy, like really at all, and so that poses an issue for me. So I don't know. That's my cooking issue, but I'm digging this. I appreciate the input. So let's hear out the rest of Dakota's message here.
Man, I tried to fit that all in one, and it did not happen. I ain't got no gift. I got the curse of Gab. Anyway, so yes, if you want a burst of flavor, do something with that. I mean, and if it's not something you're a big fan of, you should try it anyway just to see. But if it's not something that you're interested in, there's a Southern Asian or whatever dish called chicken satay, satay. And it's basically a peanut butter chicken dish. And it sounds weird.
I've had it.
But that's what I'm talking about, man. Explore some different foods that you haven't tried. I've cooked it before. In fact, I made a mistake of cooking it at my mom's house when I was in college. We used to have this thing where all the kids would come and cook something when we have one meal a week. And one kid would be in charge of the meal, whatever. I cooked chicken satay, whatever you say. And, dude, my mom threatened me. She's like, yeah, you're gonna get cooking duties. It was good. And no, I'm not that good of a cook, man. Or if you know anybody that hunts, get some meat from them. Get something from them. I don't know. Luke, Mr. Canada himself, just have him step out his back door and shoot something with 4 legs. All right. Somebody out there knows how to make what's that? A jerky. I don't know if you have a jerky, wild jerky supplier. But come on, man, you eat. If you have one of those little snacks on the go that you need to have to keep up your meal plan or whatever it is that you're doing, just have a couple pieces of that jerky. Eat you, I don't know, banana, an apple, whatever it is you like to eat, along with it. I'm telling you, you can reset your palate, and you probably should, just because it is a beautiful thing to have variety in your diet. It improves your entire life, demeanor, etc. All right, man. I talked for way too long. Peace.
No, I appreciate the call there, Dakota, and I love food almost too much. That's the problem. And I guess what I was getting at is, like, because I don't cook at home, I eat out entirely too much, and that's where I'm basically saying nothing sounds good. Everything just sounds, nothing appeals. Everything sounds horrible. And you're right. Maybe I should be trying to do more and whatever. I just, like I said, it becomes it's a time, effort, money. It's a whole thing there, but I'm making excuses. I recognize that. Now, the one time that I did, last summer, attempt my grill, there was good and bad. So I grilled some zucchini, and I love grilled zucchini, and that turned out pretty well. I grilled pineapple rings, and let me tell you, that came out amazingly well. I know you're saying you're not a fan of hot fruit. I love grilled pineapple. Like, love grilled pineapple. The chicken did not come out so well. And I know my problem now. I know what I did wrong with the chicken. The outside temperature was over 100 degrees. B, my grill was in the sun. So the inside temperature of the grill was even higher than what I had set the grill at because it's baking in the fucking sun. C, I marinated the chicken in like a teriyaki glaze, and not taking into account that, the sugars in the teriyaki are going to, cook and whatever else. And then I thought they were just really small fucking chicken breasts. I didn't know. They were actually chicken like cutlets or tenders, basically. So they're very small little strips. And so between the fact that they were small little strips in teriyaki, in a hot grill, in the sun, on a hot day, and then I went based upon the recommended cooking time for chicken breasts, I fucking just annihilated that chicken. I mean, you're talking about jerky, it was straight inedible. This was not good chicken. I attempted one piece, and ended up throwing all the rest of it away. But I'll tell you, my veggies and my pineapple turned out really, really well. Actually, this kind of comes to another discussion that I had while I was down in Florida, actually driving to Blend and Barrel to meet up with Trey Mac. Erica and I were in the car, and we were discussing, I don't even know how the hell we got on the subject, but somehow or another we got on the subject of hunting. And we got on the subject of hunting. And I basically said that if I were forced to kill the animal for my meal, I probably would try going vegetarian. I'm just not, it's just not in me. The idea of killing a creature and processing it and eating it, it's just not, I always joke, oh, I'm a city mouse, not a country mouse, but plain and simple, I don't think I have it in me. Now that's not to say that, like, you know, I couldn't shoot something if, like, let's say it was a life or death situation. My kid is being, run down by a moose. I'm going to shoot the moose, it's that simple. But, like, if it's I'm sorry, Mr. Moose, you're living your best day, you're drinking out of the stream, and you're having a good time, and I need to have a burger, a moose burger, I'm probably not that I don't think that's not, I don't feel like that's in me. I feel like I will try and find other alternatives. I like vegetables. I like fruit a lot. They're some of the best dishes I've had. Involve no meat. Some of the most creative dishes that I've had involve no meat. I posed this in the car that day, and I'm sticking by it. I feel like I could go vegetarian. I don't think I could do it like flip a switch and it's just done. I feel like it would take like a 6-month like kind of wind down, like kind of wind down from meat consumption, add in more vegetables, add in more fruit, really, really amp up the those categories to try and take place. Learn some cooking, figure out, some alternatives to that. I do feel like I could do that. I do feel like at the end of 6 months, I could pare out meat. I'm not going to say that there's things I wouldn't miss. I love a good burger. I eat a shit ton of chicken. I'm not a big pork guy. I'm generally not a big pork guy. I'm not a seafood guy. I don't know where, I'm not a seafood guy. I'm not a seafood guy at all. I'm not a big pork guy. I don't do seafood. Beef, like I said, burger, steak. I do love a good beef tenderloin. Oh, pork tenderloin. That's probably my one exception to the pork thing. Nice, good pork tenderloin in a oh, fuck. I like a good pork tenderloin. Boy, you know who made some fucking great pork tenderloin? It was the Smokin' Butts and Tappin' Ash guys. I went down. It was the first time I met them in person. And I went down to their little clubhouse. And Travis had that clubhouse by the lake. And I went down there, and they had a fucking feast set up. They had 2 different pork tenderloins in different different like marinades and whatnot. Holy shit, that was a good night. That was good eating right there. That was a fun time. I missed that. That was a good time. So I do like a good pork tenderloin. But it's one of those things that as I get older, it's like more and more vegetable appeals and more fruit appeals. There are days that I'm like, I don't even want to eat anything. I'd be fine with just maybe fruit and some cooked veggies. Truthfully, you make up a big stir fry of just some cooked veggies, I'm set. I'm good. Little carrot, little broccoli, some zucchini, maybe throw, some like yellow squash in there. You know, one thing that I hadn't seen in forever, but we have a little Asian place that just opened up around here, Yummy Bowl or Tasty Bowl, or actually I think both of them. And you go down the line with your bowl and you put the veggies and the meat in the bowl and they stir fry it up and whatever. Well, I hadn't seen water chestnuts in forever. I mean, forever. All the Asian restaurants, they used to have water chestnuts in dishes, but man, they disappeared. All of a sudden, they're popping up on these little buffets for these bowl places. And I'm all for it. Water chestnuts, I love that. Gives that nice little crunch in there, along with the other vegetables that have kind of cooked down and gotten a little softer. Holy shit, man. It's a good texture difference. I love it. And so, yeah. I love vegetables, and to look at me, you might be like, "Oh, he loves dessert," but I love vegetables and I love fruits. Max and I, a couple of years back, one summer, the whole thing was let's try different fruits. It was the summer that the pink pineapple was all the rage. I feel like that was 2023. So we got the pink pineapple, so we could try the pink pineapple, and that was good. It was different than the yellow pineapple. And then I found out that there was a yellow dragon fruit, which is different than the pink dragon fruit that you normally see. And so we got the yellow dragon fruit, so we could try that. That was good. That was different. We were trying all these different fruits, and it was fun. It was good. Yeah, I don't know. It's a different situation. My experience with jerky, I don't think I've ever had like good jerky. I've only ever had like the gas station, the kind of jerky. And that's just fucking salty rubber, man. It's just I don't dig that, but maybe good jerky's different. I don't know. But anyway, no, I know there's food out there that would like stimulate the brain and get me going and everything. My point to my rant, and I guess to this, is that it's there, but we're not being provided it. Like you have to search far and wide for it, because these chain restaurants that are everywhere, they are giving you the lowest common denominator of food. They're charging you out the ass for it. And it's no good. It's just absolutely no good. It's disappointing. And it makes something that I should love, which is mealtime, a slog. And I don't like that. So, and to be honest, truthfully, these days, like, for quote unquote breakfast, I'll do like a protein shake. I have some like little kind breakfast protein bars that, I'll eat that. That'll take me good for quite a while, to where then I have like one meal of the day. And what sucks is when you have that one meal of the day and that one meal of the day sucks, that's the disappointing part, is when you've only got the one meal and it just wasn't any good. It feels like a waste, Now, you mentioned mango chutney. I like mango. I like mango salsa. To your point, I would think that mango chutney would probably be very similar and very good. The mango ice cream at the Indian restaurant in the European Village, where we're hosting Pulpit Fest again this year, is out of this world fucking amazing. You need to do yourself a favor, and when you come to Pulpit Fest, because Dakota, I know you're going to come to Pulpit Fest again this year, you need to go to that Indian restaurant. First of all, the food there is actually really pretty good. They have an Indo-Chinese menu for those people who aren't into the Indian food. I'm not particularly a big fan of Indian food. But I did have the orange chicken there, which there was a sharing of spices. You could tell. I got it medium. I should definitely have taken it down to like mild at best. Because that was the thing. It was very, very hot in terms of the spice level. But that was good. But I'll tell you, the mango ice cream at the end was just out of this world. Super good. But to be honest, if we're talking about good places at the Village, the Red Koi, which is the hibachi sushi place next door to Ash and Ale, holy shit. All the times I've ever been to Ash and Ale, and I had never gone next door to the Red Koi, I did this past trip. The hibachi there is absolutely amazing. I am sitting here right now craving that. If I could have that, just the chicken, I don't need all the fucking other bullshit, just the chicken and the vegetables. Oh my God. It was so good. And I would do that. I would do that damn near every meal. If I, like, that's the thing. Simplicity. I just, I like that. It's good. And, yeah, I'll be definitely hitting that again. So, but you hit that, you get the hibachi, and then you walk down to the Indian place and you get the mango ice cream. It's a good time. It's a good time. Anyway, Dakota, thank you so much for taking time out to call me. I appreciate it. I do hope you are making it to Pulpit Fest again this year. You may have already bought a ticket for all I know. I don't know. Like I said, I sold those VIPs back around Thanksgiving time, and I can't remember who bought one, who didn't. But if you didn't, then be watching, because at some point I will put the general admission tickets back up and available for sale, and everybody needs to get in on that. So it's a good time. But anyway, guys, this has been Ask the Pulpit. You can give me a call on the hotline with your thoughts, comments, concerns, whatever it is. Obviously, we talk about all kinds of things here. Sometimes it's cigars. Sometimes it's food. There's been a lot of food talk this episode. There's also, we have blouses. We have weather. I mean, there's all sorts of things that we talk about on this. So anyway, give a call to the hotline, area code 863-874-0000 or tofu pie 0000. Boy, I am enjoying this Punch Golden era. It is it's I'd say it's mild plus. It's not a particularly strong cigar in terms of everything just hitting you, strength and everything. It's it has some flavor it has good flavor to it. But it's very, very balanced and well constructed. The retro hail has a hint of spice to it, but it's not like the spiciest. Like look, this is, if an Aladino is one level, this is maybe a couple notches below an Aladino Corojo in terms of its strength and flavor. It's in the ballpark. It's maybe a runway to an Aladino. Like, let's say you're a purely Connecticut smoker and you like the super mild, super light stuff, but you've heard about this Aladino thing and you're just like, I want to try that. Maybe try the Punch Golden era to see if you like that, and then if you like that, then try the Aladino, because again, it's blended by Julio Aroa. It's using Honduran Corojo. So realistically, this is probably a good introduction to what Aladino has to offer, for someone who maybe is a very light, mild smoker and doesn't like going out of their comfort zone to try something a little stronger. But yeah, it's super good. I'm digging it. It's a nice cigar. I haven't had a cigar today. This is the first cigar of the day. So it's a nice first cigar of the day. I've got a couple lined up though. I'm going to be up. I ended up taking a fucking 4-hour nap today. because I did not set my alarm on my phone. I thought I did, and I did not. And next thing you know, I woke up and it was fucking dark outside. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. So, yeah, my sleep schedule for today is fucked. So I think I'm going to be up late tonight. Obviously I got to edit this and put this out for you guys to listen to. I have to start work on the newspaper, and you know what? Fuck it. I'll have another cigar. So, this is good. It's a nice thing. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump into this now. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. All right, so got a couple things. First, going back to Dakota's message about the movie episode that I did recently, there's one that I didn't mention on there that, to be honest, I wasn't really super excited about, but then I saw the trailer today and I was like, holy shit, this actually kind of looks like it could be funny. The new Scary Movie, which I'm shocked to say that, because I liked Scary Movie 1. Scary Movie 2 was good. After that, they kind of fell off. They got really shitty. But this new one, I guess the Wayans are back, and, it looks goofy, and it looks like they're really taking it to a lot of the more newer horror movie franchises. Granted, I don't know a lot of the new horror movie franchises, but nonetheless, it looks entertaining to me. Am I going to see it in the theater? Unlikely. But I might check it out when it hits streaming. It does. I do think it's good that we're getting a little bit more comedy back in the movie theater. The only thing I'll say, though, is that they're going back to kind of a shitty time for comedy, which was the very late 90s, early 2000s. There were things that were good in there, but man, there was a lot of just slop. And I hope that we're not embracing that as the throwback. I agree with him. We need comedy, but some really intelligent, well done comedy would be nice. If we could get a Caddyshack or an Animal House or something like that. But I almost think that those days are gone. I almost think that Hollywood has moved on past that, and we're not going to ever get that again. And then we just need to be happy with what we did get. I don't know. We'll see. Now, in terms of what I've been watching lately, though, the other night, my son was asleep. I came out here, to have a cigar. I was looking for something to watch, and somehow or another, I ended up stumbling onto a miniseries that CNN had done quite a while ago, and it's called The 80s. And basically, it's just a retrospective of the decade of the 80s. And it's, I think, 8 episodes, and each episode is a different theme. The first one's all about television. The second one is about the Reagan Revolution. There's one about AIDS. There's one about the fall of communism and the end of the Cold War. And I think the one I'm getting ready to watch is all about music in the 80s. And it's just one of those shows that I've watched it before, but I enjoy watching it. And they did a couple others, they did the 70s. I think they probably did the 60s. They did the 90s. I don't know if they did the 2000s. They might have done the 2000s, but the 80s, man. I was born in 81, so realistically, yes, I lived in the 80s, but I don't. That's not a portion of time that I necessarily remember. For me to say what era did you grow up in, I'd probably argue the 90s more than the 80s. I remember the 90s. I don't really particularly remember the 80s, but there are aspects of the 80s that I am perhaps nostalgic for, that it's more the concept makes me happy rather than memories of it make me nostalgic for it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm watching these kids going to the fucking video arcades and playing video games all day long. Granted, I did that for a little bit. We still had an arcade in the mall for quite a while. So in the 90s and the early 2000s, my high school time, there was an arcade in the mall. I distinctly remember going there. Cruisin' World. Me and a couple of friends, man, we went up there and we played the hell out of Cruisin' World. We were on the leaderboard and racing and shit and everything. We had little tournaments. There was the Marvel vs. Capcom, fighting game. I mean, there were all there was some good games still. So, I mean, the arcade was still a thing when I was around. But I look at this and I'm like, fuck, the arcade was just like straight fire back in the 80s. It's like, that's what I want. And I don't know. If I had a time machine and somebody said, like, okay, pick an era, that's, you're going to go there and you're going to live through that. I'm not saying the 80s were perfect. No era is perfect. But man, I could get behind going to the 80s. I could get behind living through the 80s. Not having a cell phone in my pocket, and everybody's actually engaged and interacting with one another. Fuck the movies alone. I mean, you look at some of the years of and the movie releases, some of the weekends that you'd have like 3 or 4 different like big movies hitting at the same damn time. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing. Mall culture. I know some people like maybe are like, oh my God, the mall. Like the malls today suck. But like you go back then to where it was like the place to be and like you could just hang out and do that. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm being nostalgic because I'm looking through nostalgia being presented to me through entertainment these days about the 80s. But no, it was good. It appeals to me. I don't know. 80s, the 90s, I don't know. The 90s weren't bad. I just, I have a little bit more love and nostalgia for the 80s. That's all. But again, I lived through it, but I didn't live it's a weird thing. Like I'm sitting here waxing nostalgic for a decade that I don't really remember, so it's an odd thing, but yeah, I think I would do that. I would do the 80s, but anyway, so yeah, that's the Villiger Report.
Guess what, motherfucker?
It's time for 3 cigars I smoked and enjoyed this week, and I actually did smoke some that I dug. Normally, lately I've been like, kind of hitting the same old to where it's like, man, this bit's gonna be all Perdomo Habano sun grown and all this and what I just it's whatever. This time I actually had some different shit. So the first one I want to highlight is the Plasencia Alma Fuerte. Now I had the green band one, which I think that has a Colorado wrapper to it. Anyway, I had that. It was a Robusto. I had that at Crooked Horn Cigars in Florida when I was hanging out with Trey Mack and Erica on that driving day that we did. Fucking great cigar. I splurged. I think it was like $22 for the Robusto. I splurged because Plasencia is one of those brands that when I smoke it, I enjoy the hell out of it, and I can get a lot of time out of it. But I don't do it regularly or frequently because it is kind of a more expensive date. But when I do it, I enjoy the hell out of it. And so I really did like that. It was a good cigar. If you haven't had it, I highly recommend it. The next one I want to highlight is one I actually smoked on the show, the one I smoked with Trey Mack, and that was the Aladino 85th. Again, another cigar I don't smoke frequently, mostly due to, for me, price and availability. It's a little on the higher side for my price point, and around here, availability is limited. But it is a fine cigar. It's a very unique flavor. It's different than any other thing put out by Aladino, but it's also different than any other thing put out by a lot of people. You guys voted it your top cigar of the year. I've had some people question that. I've had some people say that, how could you guys have chosen a cigar that had such limited availability to it? How many of you actually even smoked it? Blah, 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 blah. The only counter that I would say to that would be that if perhaps the thought is that the Perdomo Legacy should have taken the top spot over the Aladino 85th, the Perdomo Legacy is also equally very limited and hard to get a hold of. There's not that many shops that carry the Legacy, whereas technically the 85th, all you have to do, I believe, is be a Corojo Reserva shop, a shop that qualifies to get the Corojo Reserva, and you can then get the 85th. So theoretically, I don't know this for certain, but perhaps more shops carry the 85th than the Legacy. I don't know. That is a question that, quite frankly, both companies would have to open their books and tell me how many shops have the Legacy and how many have the 85th, and neither one of them are going to do that. So we will never actually know. However, I would say that there's actually a better chance of my people smoking the 85th than the Legacy. And that's assuming we're even debating that cigar. There are obviously other cigars. The Gold Star came in on that list as well. And that cigar, theoretically, is open to anybody that wants to get it through United. Great cigar. But anyway, the Aladino 85th was my second one that I wanted to highlight. My third one is one that, when I was at the Ashenale recently, I was walking around the humidor and I'm just kind of looking for stuff that, like, A, I don't see very often, and B, just something that is relatively inexpensive, smokes well, something I could just get a little time out of and enjoy. And by God, the box of Metropolitan Habanos from Ferio Tego called out to me. And that cigar fucking smokes wonderfully. I smoked one with Ken out on the patio, and I ended up buying at least 2 or 3 more before the course of my trip down there was over with. And I just smoked one, the last one that I brought home with me. I just smoked that the other day. And hell, I actually, as I look here, I still have the band for it sitting on my desk. The Metropolitan Habano from Ferio Tego. It's just a simple Habano cigar, but it is so good. It was well constructed. It smokes wonderfully. It's just a nice, easy smoke. I dug the hell out of it, and I enjoy it. I feel like I read somewhere that Michael Herklotz was doing a anniversary of the Metropolitan soon-ish. I don't know. I might be pulling this completely out of my ass. This is what I get for bringing something up that I don't know about at the time. But anyway, yeah. So, good cigar. I enjoyed the Metropolitan Habano from Ferio Tego. Alrighty, well, it's that time where I tell you I'm available on Instagram at The Cigar Pulpit. I am on Facebook where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. You can find that. Get in on the fun there. Share what you're smoking and interact. I'm on Twitter/X. You can watch this on Rumble and YouTube, although YouTube is apparently starting to strike down episodes of various podcasts again. So, we'll see how long I'm on YouTube, but, for now I'm on Rumble and YouTube. Otherwise, you can call the hotline. I do need calls. As this episode proved, I do need calls. So you can call the hotline at area code 863-874-0000, 863-874-0000, or Tofu Pie 0000. And if you haven't gone over to cigarpulpit.com and signed up for the Cigar Chronicle newsletter, just do that. Head on over to the website. A little pop-up window comes up. Put your email in there. You signed up. You'll start getting that for free. It comes out once a month. Might come out twice a month, or every once in a while. Every once in a while, if there's like an update about something important, or I might do a PCA update post PCA. But for right now, it's just once a month. But sign up for that. It's just some fun stuff for your inbox there. And yeah, I would appreciate it greatly. Okay, well, I have a few new things that I'm going to be trying and rolling out for you guys in the coming weeks. We'll see. We'll see how they work out. Now that I have my little wireless microphone, lapel mics and whatnot, and I've given them a bit of a test. That intrigues me. I have a mount in my car that I can put the phone on and I can record. So there's all sorts of things that I'm playing at. So over the course of the next upcoming, let's just say over the course of the next upcoming month, there'll be some new stuff that I'm going to give a shot to. So if I do something new and you like it, let me know. If I do something new and you're like, it was kind of dumb, you can let me know that too. By the way, I always forget to say, for Ask the Pulpit, you can email me at nick@cigarpulpit.com. That's NICK@cigarpulpit.com. So if you're not comfortable calling in, you can just email me and I'll read it that way. Anyway, I guess that's really about it. I am down to the final third of my Punch Golden era. I'm digging the hell out of it. I'm going to smoke it all the way down to the end. But I'm enjoying it greatly. It's a good cigar. Like I said, if you like Aladinos, this is a good one. If you are a mild smoker and you want to know what this whole Aladino thing is all about, and maybe you're a little afraid of the full bore Aladino, which you shouldn't be, but let's just hypothetically say perhaps you want to ease into it. This might be a good step on the way, but if you're going to go that far, if you're going to try the Punch Golden era and you like it, go ahead and get the Aladino too. That's the way that works. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for taking time out. I deeply appreciate it. This has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick. Everybody, stay safe and stay smoky. Boy, the other thing about the 80s that I want to reminisce about for a split second is I remember walking through the mall here, the one that's just like, 2 minutes that way from my house. And I distinctly remember when the Tinderbox was in the mall and you could walk by that store and that smell of cigar, tobacco, and smoke was just permeated into the hallway right outside there. And it was a wonderful thing. I remember being a kid and being like, that store smells great. And I never went in there because obviously, you're a little kid. You don't go into the cigar store. But holy shit, man. That's freedom right there. Damn it. You go up to the mall. Your wife wants to go walk around and shop for clothes and this and that and whatever. And you're like, baby, I'm going to the Tinderbox. And you walk over to the cigar shop and you're sitting in the mall watching people walking by while you're sitting there and having a stogie. Damn it. Freedom. That was freedom. And we need more of that. Later, guys.